Made it out to the forest today. That was nice. Yesterday I got bit by the mosquitoes too much here, so I decided to go out in the forest this morning. There's no mosquitoes out there. And the minute I walked into the forest, I felt like it was just completely different because it was so green, and it was like this dome. It's been pretty hot, so there was like this dome of oxygen. It felt like the minute I went in. It's almost like thick enough to be a presence, like I'd walked into some sort of body,
Yeah.
invading species in some body. A lot
Beautiful.
of flies and bees around here.
So how was the whole experience there in the forest?
It was beautiful, but it was too short. It was like I just had a half an hour for meditation. It just felt like 5 minutes because it was so, you know,
Mhm.
sometimes a half hour meditation seems like 3 hours, and sometimes it just feels like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Great. It's very nice to be out there.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. You know, this boundless energy, which is not a thing, that which can never really be pointed at, is always there as everything. Even in the midst of uh, an activity or a busy, maybe you are driving, you're busy traffic, people moving around, cars hooting, at the traffic stop, in the business meeting, when there's a picnic, that's space, that presence, which can never really be described, which is beyond any name, which is already wordless, is always there. And it is everything. It is also that which is expressing as somebody who's talking, who's living life, trying to get somewhere. So it's everything already. Yet this as it is already nothing, appearing as everything or being everything. So it can never really be known. It can never really be understood because it's not separate. There's no separation. There is already no one who's outside of it to understand it. There's just it already. Even if it happens that, or even if it appears that there's somebody who's trying to understand it, that's also it, appearing as somebody who's trying to understand. So there is no dividing line. There is no separation. Whatever it may seem to be arising is just this already. Whether there seems to be a story happening, whatever it may seem to be discussed about or suggested is already just that which can never be known or understood. So this is already the case. Just this, what is already what is being longed for. So the seeker, the one who's seeking for this, can never really find this, because that one does not exist as separate from this. So they can be just seeking happening, but there is already no separate seeker who can eventually find wholeness. Wholeness can never be found because wholeness is not separate. That which is whole and complete can never really be found because it's everything already. It's the totality. There are no different parts. Therefore, there is no distance to cover. There is no you and what is. There's no you and totality. There's no you and wholeness. There's just wholeness. There's just totality. Which may appear as a you looking for totality, or what is. So every activity can be seen as just an appearance in this. It appears and disappears. The body appears in this and disappears in this. The story appears and disappears. But this, as it is, has never appeared. Therefore, it can never disappear. Yet the story, or whatever it seems to appear, is just this already, expressing as a story or as an activity or whatever it may seem to be arising. So there's no separation. Everything is this already. Every thought, every sensation, every feeling, trying to get somewhere, looking for something other than this, is already this. The longing itself to find something is already that which can never really be found. That which is trying to know something is already that which can never be known, is already the unknown appearing as a knower, as an apparent knower. But there is no real knower. There is no real separate self. The separate self or the individual can never really be found because it's already dead. It's already dead. It's already everything. It's already this, which is already whole and complete, expressing as a what seems to be a separate self. So there's no one looking from behind those eyes already. There's no one in the body already to collapse or to fall away. That can be imagined that there's somebody in the body, you know. But that imagination itself is also what is, the totality, also expressing as an imagination that there is somebody there who can know something, who can become something, who can eventually collapse. But there is already no one there. The body is empty. Even the body itself is nothing, it's just an energy. Everything is energy. Everything is this. And this energy is boundless. It is everything. It appears as somebody who's talking to somebody. It appears as if they are different people walking around, different things, different animals, mountains, trees, planets, universes, but it's all just this. There can be labels that there is a mountain, there is a river, a bird, but it's all just this. Those are just labels, imaginary as well. The chair doesn't say it's a chair. I'm a chair. There's an imagination that it's a chair. That was learned in a way. It was learned, but the itself as it is, that's nothing. It's not a thing. Everything is nothing. And there can be a story or a land or a knowledge in the memory that it's something, but everything is nothing. So there's nothing here and there's nothing happening. There's nobody here already. There's just this. And this doesn't know the other. There can be the other in the story. There can be you and other in the story. That's just a story. That's just a knowledge in the memory. That I'm this person who grew up in a certain location. Now I'm here listening or talking. That's just a knowledge in the memory. It's not an evidence that there's somebody there. So there's nothing here. There's no one to know anything here. There's no one already to find anything. There's just this, which is already not a thing. And this can never really be pointed at. This can never really be known because there's nothing to know it already. There's nobody separate from this to know this. There's just this. There's no world, and there are no people in the world. There's just this expressing its people in the world and the world. Apparent objects, names, different forms. Everything is this. This is alone as everything. So the talking itself that seems to be happening is already empty. There is no real separate somebody who's talking, and there's no real separate somebody who's listening. There can be a listening, which can then have that assumption, or there can be that assumption that is, I'm listening, I'm somebody. You know. But those are just thoughts. It's just a thought. And thoughts, when are looked for, they can never really be found. They seem to be there when there's no looking. But when you look, or when there's looking, thoughts are not there. There's nothing there. So the separate self is just a thought. And when thoughts are looked for, they can never be found. So there's no separate self. There's just this, also expressing as thoughts, sensations, the
Why?
feeling of not being there yet. Are
Sorry, I
they
was
disturbing you?
just adding the flies too. They're interested in me tonight. Very hot.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's just whatever is arising. Pumping bees, charging, you know, the wind, the space, sitting on a chair, the looking, thinking is already empty. It's just this expressing as that. There's nobody behind anything. There's no one doing anything already. There's no one suggesting anything. There's no one pointing to anything. There's just this. And this isn't a thing. And there are no words. This is wordless. It doesn't actually require words to be spoken for it to be what it is. It's already the case, even before any word can be uttered, even before any thinking may arise. It's already the case. Even in the midst of quarreling, misunderstanding, being unable to come up with solutions to make the business to work, to function well, to work well, being frustrated, happy, joyful. This is already the case. It's just this which can never be found expressing as that. Even when it appears that there's somebody who takes credit for everything that is being done, that's also an expression of this. That's not separate from this. There's no wrong or right. There are no limitations here. There's no one to have a good character or bad character already.
Yeah.
So this is neutral, yet expressing as what seems to be the opposites, good and bad, black or white, top and bottom, or bottom. So it is so free and empty to become anything, to be anything, or to appear as anything. So even the fear itself is already an expression of this. It may appear and disappear. So if there is also a desire that may seem to arise to do meditation, to recite mantras or whatever it may seem to be arising or happening, that too is not wrong or right. It's just what seems to be happening, and it's beautiful. So what is being suggested here is that whatever that seems to be happening is this already. If there's somebody who says, I don't want to meditate anymore, I'm just gonna live life as it is, that's an expression of this too. If there's somebody who wants to meditate, to go deeper, see, go within, that's beautiful, because that too is an expression of this. This expressing as a human being, but there is no real human being. It's just this expressing as that, expressing as a man or a woman. Yet this, as it is not a man or a woman. It's just nothing. Man and a woman is just a story, which is also an expression of this. What seems to be Ngozi talking to Charles, that's just a story. There is no Ngozi here, there is no Charles. There's just talking and listening and responses happening, which are already empty. There's already no one who's getting anything, who's getting somewhere. There's no goal to reach. There's no where to get to, and there's nobody to get to anyway. There's just this. So this can never be found because this is everything already. How can everything be found? And by whom? If all there is everything, then who can find everything? If all there is everything, how can everything be found? So it can never be found because there's just this, which is already everything. Also appearing as somebody who's trying to find everything. That's not to say it's not wrong or right. It's just what seems to be happening. So every expression is beautiful. Every story is beautiful. Because it's already dead, which can never be known or understood, which can never be found, which is nothing already expressing as a story, expressing as everything. So the seeking itself is already arising from that place which is not seeking. The seeking itself is already arising or appearing from that which is being sought for. So uh, the looking itself and that which is being looked for is already one. The looker or the apparent looker, the looking and what is being looked for is already this. There's no separation. Everything is this already. That which is looking from behind those eyes is already this. You are what you are looking for. So it is impossible to talk to somebody. There is already nobody to talk to. Everything is this already. But in the story, it may appear as if there are conversations, there's somebody talking to somebody, but that's just a story. But it really, there's no, there's no one to talk to anyone. This is talking to itself already. So this doesn't see the other. There's no one to talk to. There's just this. Talking happens. It's not being done by anybody. Listening happens. It's not being done by anybody. And there's no one to see that. There's no one to know that. If they seeing that seems to be happening, it can only be just this, which can never be seen or known, appearing to see itself as everything. There's no one to see anything. There's no one to get anything. There's no one to know anything. There's just this, appearing to say, I can't get this, appearing to say, I've been doing this and that, but I'm not there yet, appearing to say, I know what you're talking about, but that's not my experience. That as it is already this, is already that which is being learned. The yearning itself is already this. There is never not this. So when the body collapses,
Something is eating the chair.
sorry?
Something is eating this chair. We are eating this chair. I can hear something in here eating
Wow.
the chair. I suspect it's one of these
You're under
carpet.
attack.
Sorry?
You're under attack.
Yes. It's yeah. There's a lot of nature out here. It takes a little getting used to.
Wow.
It's good though.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's just life expressing itself. Zombie bears moving around.
There's Anthony DeMello, this Catholic guy. I don't know if he's the first one who said it, but he says that looking for God is like a fish looking for water.
Yeah. Yeah, it's yeah, God is just looking for, it's just playing. Well, that's what I can say. God is playing as a you, looking. God is playing as everybody. There's everything. Bumblebees, trees, people, the world. It's all just God. There's no separation. So everything is just a play. The story itself is it's beautiful. But when there is that sense of being separate from everything, which is also this God appearing as that sense, it may seem as if there's good and bad. Oh, that's not right. That wasn't supposed to happen. But it's still just God saying those words. So there's already no one looking for anything. There's just everything.
There's a balance to it, you know? There's a balance to God. There's patterns. Everything seems to cancel itself out. You know, you study physics and so forth. For every action, there's an opposite force, and there's a the illusion has rules by which it unfolds.
Exactly.
As illusory as it may be. I think I'm going to switch chairs. The bee is eating in my ear. We have these bees. They're called carpenter bees. Oh, I told you about them already. I think I told you about them already. Anyway, they'll eat your house up, but they like wood, and I'm just sure there's one. I've seen them go in these chairs, especially
Oh, yeah.
especially like bare wood. So this is kind of old. It's like it doesn't have any paint on it. They'll just eat. That's what they eat.
Wow.
Yeah, they'll just destroy your house like termites.
Wow. But they're still peas.
Yeah, they'll drill holes directly. It's just like a hole that's like this big. Just drill it, and yeah, lots of them do it. That it compromises the foundation.
Oh. So that's how they build their houses in a way.
I think it's just how they eat, but they might stay in there. I don't know. I don't know.
Mm.
Like wasps, they'll build we get wasp nests too around here, which are sort of like little honey, like regular bee uh honeycombs. But yeah, these things I don't know. I don't know how they work. They don't have them other parts of the country. I just heard about them for the first time a year ago. I didn't believe it when I
Yeah.
heard it. Yes. What? A bee did that? So much variety everywhere. So much variety. Millions of different
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, year after year, you hear that new species have been discovered, you know, that has never been found before.
Yeah.
Yeah. I once heard that there is beneath the water or beneath the ocean, there is another ocean there. Somebody discovered it. I don't know. Never heard of that before.
Well, I know there can be yeah, there can be like rocky plateaus and then additional, you know, water caverns underneath that, but I don't know if there's an ocean under the ocean. That seems like a bit of not the size of the Pacific Ocean or anything. I wouldn't expect, but I mean, there's underground rivers. There's underground rivers around here. There's cities that, like Paris, it's like built itself on top of itself, you know, over the years. And the old streets are like filled with dead bodies, you know. Did you know that?
Oh,
You can
no.
go into they're called catacombs. You can go, they ran out of places to put dead people, so they just have just not just seas of bones underneath of Paris that you can, if you know where to get in,
Wow.
you can go in. I think they've locked most of them up, or you're not supposed to go through most parts of it, but people explore anyway and put it on the internet. But
Yeah, never heard of that.
like there's buried civilizations here, right? I mean, they're definitely they're finding things underneath the layers of soil that build up all the time. Uh, archaeologists and cities and maybe even civilizations that are, you know,
Mm.
always seems like they're finding somebody who's older than they thought that people could be. They're finding some piece of technology that was older than they thought could exist, consistently. Yeah.
Mm. Even the bones, the skeletons of giant human beings. I don't know. Also, they've been found, but that's you cannot say that's in the news. Yeah, yeah. Also, I've seen that they found giant skeletons, like 10 feet, 15 feet tall skeletons.
You know about there's these there's these statues on an island in the South Pacific called Easter Island, and it's just they're a series of them, and it's this iconic kind of stone head just looking out. Uh, I think they're all looking out kind of where the sun tends to be rise or something or set. I can't remember for this specific island, but there's tons of them, dozens of them. They're just huge heads, and they didn't really understand how they were made. Um, and each head, I don't know, it's like 20 feet tall or something, right? So massive amount of work to make
Uh,
them. Um, and and then like one year, like I mean, people have been talking about these heads for dozens of years, and then all of a sudden they figured out that they had bodies, and that these heads were attached to like massive torsos, also built out of stone that went down just like hundreds of feet. And have no idea who made them or why, or it's crazy.
Those are very huge. Uh,
Yeah, they're huge. I'm sure you've seen pictures of them. There's you'd recognize them. Oh, it's in Chile. I didn't realize it was in Chile. I thought it was but they apparently unearthed a bunch of them, and here they are. I'll send you a picture. I'll send this to you.
yeah.
I'll just send you the link. It's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, I just got it.
Well, I should get going before I get stung. There's another kind of bee running around here.
Wow. At first they were squirrels.
Squirrels.
Nowadays, bumblebee.
Well, you remember when I first moved out here, I got attacked by a whole nest of hornets and got tons of bites. Remember that? And they bit my butt. Tons of them.
Yeah, I remember. I remember. I remember this. Wow.
Squirrels seem to have gone away a little bit. Maybe there's plenty of food in the forest right now. I think they're worse in the winter for attacking your home.
Mm. Wow. I remember you couldn't even sit well. And yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of funny.
Yeah.
Figured out what it was. There was an underground, some hornet's nest underground. And I was just digging this weird pile of mud that or dirt that I didn't know why it was there. And that's where their nest was. And I had to do it twice before I figured it out, because it happened the second time in the same place. So I got attacked by the swarm twice.
So they chased after you.
Yeah, tons of them. They went around my head, around my ears, and disoriented me. So I was like this, and at the time when I was doing this, they simultaneously attacked my exposed flesh.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Speaking of which, there's a bee under my seat now. All right, I'm gonna take off. Any parting words here?
Yeah. Nothing is coming up. Yeah, but I will definitely send a message. Yeah, I'll send you a text message. Yeah, if anything comes up.
Try to I'll try to send you that package this week. I don't know if I'll be able to get to it or not, but I'll try. Um, and then I'll see if I can circle back around with you sometime next week, but it might be tough. We might have to skip next week.
Okay.
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 Okay,
Yeah,
take care.
I would appreciate that. The package. Yeah.
Okay.
Uh,
Take care.
okay.
Thank you.
Have a good one.